Hello everyone, this is Jay from FPVSIM. Today we're going to take a look at how to assemble an FPVSIM timer and do the first time setup. Here's what you're going to need: a heatsink, the FPVSIM timer V2, the 3D printed housing. Super simple, just take the housing. You see there's a hole for USB-C. Just align them, and there are some slots. Just align the slots, put them in there, and then push it in. Make sure the USB-C is actually aligned, and then close the back cap. If you want to make it perfect, you can sand the edges so that they attach better. But here, I'll just skip that part. If you want to make it more reliable, right, just apply some E6000. I learned this from Joshua Barlow. This is really good glue. Just apply some glue in here, and then close them. Then it will not fall off. This is the best $5 I've ever spent, by the way, in FPV. Once that is done, you can stick the heatsink onto the timer. This will help with the heat dissipation. There you go. Cool. Super easy. Then let's take a look at how to set it up for the first time. Find a USB cable that has 5 volts. You can use the power bank, a phone, whatever that outputs 5 volts in USB-C, and just plug it in. You can see it lights up. That means it's on. Then find a phone with FPVSIM timer app installed. Right now, our app supports.
Welcome to FPVSIM timer.
Right now, our app supports Android, iOS. iOS is gonna be released very soon. Windows, Linux, Mac OS, etc. So just choose the version that suits you the best. And then once you're on your phone, don't connect yet. Try to connect the hotspot of the timer first. So for me, it's in my settings. Go to Wi-Fi. You should find something starts with FPVSIM dash. That's the timer hotspot. Just connect to it. By default, it doesn't have password, but you can set one after connecting to it. And then come back to our timer app. Now click the connect timer hotspot. You can see it's connected to the timer. So from here, basically, you can play with the timer app. For example, you can see the RSI trend. You can change the settings of the timer. Change it to a different channel.
Switch to R3, 5732 Hz.
Or change the detection sensitivities. So please read the instructions here to understand how it does that detection. This will help you diagnose any detection issues, especially with the help of the RSI trend. And then other features, like updating voice, shows you the timer IPs or connect to a router. So right now I'm just showing you the simplest way to connect to the timer hardware. You can also use a router in the middle as the bridge to connect to the timer app, which gives you longer range. Usually router has better signals. And also, you can put it as a bridge in the middle, give you longer range. And you can update the AP settings, which is the hotspot settings, and set up a password if you like. And there are other features as well. Feel free to explore, and you can manage the racers, do workspace and settings updates. So you can save all of your settings into a workspace. Right now I'm not connected to internet, so this doesn't load. But once you're connected to the internet, this will load. Sometimes iOS will tell you, once you connect to a hotspot that doesn't have internet, right, it will tell you whether to switch to mobile data. But somehow this time it didn't show up. If it shows you to connect to the mobile data, you should be able to load all the settings from the server, the workspace settings from the server. Might be an iOS bug that it didn't show that up this time. And you can manage your timers. If you have purchased the dual or event license, you can set up multiple timers. Some instructions for more update. And of course, you can see your account information. Well, this also requires loading from the server, which mobile data is not enabled yet. So here's another benefit of connecting to a router is if the router has access to internet, right? Then you will also have internet access to the internet and as well as the timer. And then of course you can reset your whole workspace if something doesn't work. Okay, let's talk about the quad detection because that's the most important part of detecting a drone passing. So just briefly, how does it detect quad passing the timer? It uses the VTX RSSI, so the VTX signal strength, as the signal for detection. When the drone is flying by, the VTX signal will become stronger and stronger and stronger, and when it goes away, it will become weaker and weaker and weaker. So it basically detects that peak of the RSSI signal. There are 3 values that you need to be aware. Actually, the most important one is the RSSI peak, basically where the maximum RSSI is. So now I have a drone by my side. I'll just power it on. You can see the RSSI value jumps, right? And then if I power it off, the
R3, skipping anomaly.
The value will drop. So basically, make sure that the peak value, basically the white line here, is aligned with the peak of the RSSI. Might be a little bit blurry in the video. Make sure that value matches. So besides the white line, right, you can also see the purple line and yellow line. These 2 lines helps detecting a pass. Basically, the RSSI value has to jump above the purple line and then drop below the yellow line to be counted as a drone passing. And then it will use the time where the RSSI is the strongest during that passing event as the proxy of drone passing the timer here. So do note that it is just a proxy. So if your drone's VTX signal varies a lot, like a 40 VTX, your passing time might not be that accurate. But nowadays, I think with SG0, this time is actually pretty accurate. And also to help with decreasing that variance, try to put a timing gate on a fast straight line to make that peak clearer, and then your time is also going to be more accurate. For smaller tracks, you might need to update the enter sensitivity and leave sensitivity, basically adjusting the position of these 2 lines to avoid double counting or missed counting. Usually missed counting comes from RSSI peak set to too high, so that when it's passing, the signal didn't go above the purple line. In that case, try to lower the RSSI peak as much as possible until you start to get double counting issues. In case you do get double counting, you can use the min lap time settings here. For example, a minimum lap time, you think it has to be bigger than 12 seconds, right? If 2 pass is within 12 seconds, it will not be counted as a pass. Cool. Hopefully that helps clarify things on calibration. Now this timer is calibrated. You can just put it in your yard, in your track, and then start to practice. To start a session, click race,
Up next.
and then click on start race.
Whole shot MCK.
Okay, now I actually raise IMCK. You'll start to get lap times. So the first pass is a whole shot. If you're in brackets, and then second one, this is the actual 1 lap. So for example, if I pass within 12 seconds, right?
R3.
This time it's not counted as a passing because it's within 12 seconds. Remember, our min lap time is set to 12. If it's beyond 12, then it will actually be counted
1988.
as a pass. So use the min lap time in extreme cases to avoid the double counting. And then after the
Race
race is
finished.
finished, you can see some folks are saying that the RSSI trend goes away too fast. In that case, just use the view race history. Then you can see the whole RSSI history of your session, and then you can use this to help you calibrate the straight lines here. It's gonna be easier on desktops, but phone also works. You can tap on the trend to see what the actual RSSI value is from here, and use that to adjust your sensitivities. Awesome. Submit the race. Once it's submitted, you can see your race stats here. You can draw a graph with your trend. Here it looks like we're not doing very well. Our lap time just keeps going up. Just kidding, just a demo. Awesome. Hope that helps clarify things. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.